We can formally begin box office conversation.
All right, welcome to
Good
Monday
morning.
Morning Quarterbacks. Hello, everybody.
Good morning, Cody Lyons.
Good morning, Cody.
Yeah, and Ed, by the way, Eddie, we don't remind you this, but if you have questions, comments, heckles, concerns, looking for personal advice, whatever, please put it in
Whatever
the
you need,
comments
Richard.
below.
There's a lot of
We can
thoughts.
handle it.
Yeah.
I fixed a plumbing emergency in the house this weekend, so
wow.
I'm qualified for all manner of.
Keep an eye on that new Substack from Richard Rushfield. Yeah.
But on the table, so superhero fatigue is gone. Let's just crank out
congratulations, everybody.
Movies.
Yeah, we cured it.
What do you think, Sean, about Fantastic Four first steps?
It's a little above tracking. This is the same number essentially that Guardians 3 opened to back in 2023. So if you want to go back to that far, that's which again, Marvel came back from COVID and was still, it wasn't like Marvel had a COVID problem. It's like 2022 and 23 were still pretty good COVID Marvel years post-COVID. Until Ant-Man and things like that. So and Spider-Man Across the Universe opened in the same number as well. So if you want to put that comp on it, that's pretty good. That's not Deadpool obviously I think we would both agree lives in its own universe. That was last summer, 211 million, but this is the biggest opener since 2003. So in that regard, pretty good. And for a franchise, Richard, this is already out, I think 2/3 of the biggest Fantastic Four movie total globally ever, in one weekend. Yeah. So for a franchise that doesn't have a great track record, I'd say you could also say this is pretty positive. Still a ways to go here, of course. We'll see what the word of mouth is on it. I don't know if you've know people who've seen the movie or not, but
I saw it. I enjoyed it.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, we have one right here. Okay. Would you recommend? Or, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a superhero movie. It's I would say lighter on the action and more on the sort of family at home and the 50s art design, which spoke to me. My favorite part about it, total running time under 2 hours. A Marvel movie coming in under 2 hours. I thought, like, for that alone, it's
A+, man. Yeah, there you go.
And Superman also was only 205. So if we can call this a trend now,
right, pretty similar numbers.
Superhero movies shrunk to kind of normal running time, which is a great thing for the world.
They took the note, Richard. They took the note. We'll put it that way, yeah. But it's interesting you mentioned the family element, and someone else who had seen it mentioned as well. It's like it's pretty close to a PG. It's a PG-13 rated movie, but they're like there wasn't, any kind of cursing. Even the action was a little, I wouldn't say muted, but it wasn't scary, I guess was maybe the term that this person used.
I think you can take a 6-year-old to see this, and they would be fine.
Right. Even though it's PG-13, it does seem to lend that way. But the numbers, Richard, the exit polls at least, were skewing that families were actually kind of under-indexing. So for all the family-friendly marketing, which is kind of the approach that Disney and Marvel took on this one, the opening night was 70% male, which is pretty heavily skewed even for a superhero film, in that direction. And families were under-indexed in terms of the usual family attendance for a PG-13 superhero film. So it's interesting that it's doing the number, but I don't think that's maybe what prevented it from reaching, some were thinking 125, 130. I think that maybe there's a little bit of softness in the family movie going aspect. We'll see what the word of mouth is. That people are like, yeah, you can take your kids, that may help if that comes around, Richard. But that's the only thing I'd say it really was like, the only thing that surprised me about it really was that, Richard. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, it skews young. It doesn't. I mean, you have to walk a tightrope. You can't advertise this as like Paw Patrol,
right.
and
right.
you're gonna not scare away everyone else. So
yeah,
I think word of mouth maybe will get out that there's that it's family safe, especially since nothing else is opening for families coming up, right?
Yeah, that's it for I mean, Freaky Friday, probably a little more teen, I would say, than, that kind of thing versus a family film per se.
So I would say a month and a half ago, the question on the table, your possible scenarios included, and maybe even the median one was, people are just sick of superhero movies and they're just not going to see them anymore. That was a very live
the real question. Yeah, that was not a hot take. That is a real situation. Yeah, true.
Yeah, and if say Superman and Fantastic Four had come in around where Thunderbolts did, I mean that's this genre would be like, no one would be getting another one of these movies greenlit, and Marvel would be talking about getting back in the lunchbox business or something.
Right.
Yeah, there's still some life, and there still might be room to make another 150 more superhero movies in the next 10 years, like the 10 years before. So
yeah, and just to point out the disparity there. So I mean, Thunderbolts was 74, Captain America 4 was 89, and this is 118. So this isn't just like, oh, it made 5 or 10 million more. Like this was decidedly, and Superman was about the same number, opening a little over 120. So yeah, you're right. I mean, that was a big question coming in. They delivered, not in a Deadpool $200 million fashion, but this was, far above and beyond the question being, are these things just going to open $80 million and that's it and we're done, or what was up? So yeah. Now what do you do with that?
Which would not, which is which for the size of these productions is not tenable.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't know where the line to profitability, what moment they'll cross it at, but they're in the game here. It's not like,
I mean,
we're not seeing Hive collapse.
No,
superhero.
And those films netted out about 400 million. And to your point, you don't spend 200 million, and the money doesn't work if you're only making $400 million worldwide, which is what happened on Captain America and Thunderbolts. So yeah, I think reassuring. Superman is over 500, and still obviously a ways to go on that. We'll see where Fantastic Four gets. Again, not the billion five these films maybe were doing, but is it still a business? I think is the question, and that's there.
Yeah.
But Richard, we have no more. This is the last superhero film for a year.
It might still be a business, but it won't be a business anytime soon. Because,
exactly. That I was like, wow. I'm like, okay, Supergirl is the next movie on the slate there next July. I'm like, all right, now we're back. All right, see you in a year. Thanks for coming.
A full year. So superhero fatigue has been defeated, and we'll see you later.
We'll see you later. Mission accomplished. We'll be on our way. Thank you very much.
I mean, Frank, superhero fatigue may be on the wane, but a little more time with a little less of these is not a bad thing for the job.
Not complaining. I'm not just as kind of a fun fact that I'm like, okay, good. Now we can have a breather and be happy to see them again next summer. And then we have the Avengers film at the end of next year. So not a big one, but.
So, what do you make of the international takes of this and all our big movies this summer? I have something to say there.
Sure. Well, I'll just point out. So we're mainly talking Superman, which is international is only 42% of the total, which is rather low for that. I mean, even aside from America issues and whatever, that's a little bit. That seemed a little. Maybe it is that. I don't. You could attribute to that if you want, but the fact is, 42% of the box office there, and even Fantastic Four came in. It was it was 118 in the U.S. and 100 million international, but still, typically the international for a superhero film, is much higher. And China's been out of the picture for a while. I don't think really that's China's not here anymore. I'm like, we're not really comparing it. China's been gone for 6 years, and meaningfully from all these businesses. So I think that's not really there anymore. And the Guardians of the world and those films still had large international business. So give me your take, because that's again, two pieces of evidence there. Jurassic World is still doing more overseas, so that one still has it. F1 is doing 2/3 of its business overseas, so it's not that Hollywood has an overseas
but it is about a European sport.
Of course, it is a global brand, etc. You're right, yeah, but not just to say that those films can still do that business overseas if you have the right subject. So what do you got, Richard?
I mean, listen, this Pew poll in last week about opinions of America, which have plummeted around the world in the last year. You have this report about that Las Vegas international tourism is off like 20% this year
Oh, is that
or
right?
something.
Okay.
Is that something like it? I think the brand is in bad shape right now, and that superhero movies at the moment are the most sort of
American, yeah.
yeah. I mean, Superman is literally the fighter
The
for
embodiment of that, right? Yeah.
truth, justice, and the American
The
way,
American way. Yeah. Yeah.
which they might have left out of that, but you can't erase
Yeah.
100
That's
years
not in
of
the foreign
branding.
trailers, Richard. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but it's so maybe with dinosaurs, people just see that as an international thing, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that it gives the movies a boulder to have to push up the hill. There is my feeling. I mean, it seems to be manifesting everywhere else in business, in the culture, and in polls. So
Yeah.
why wouldn't it with these most
Yeah. You're
American
right.
movies?
Yeah, the logic would play out that way, and it's funny that the next movie is Supergirl next year, which will have probably the similar, a similar issue in 2026. There's something for Warner Brothers to think about in terms of their calculus. So, yeah, no, I think that's a not a referendum, but certainly an indication of like, yeah, there's a change going on here. The views are shifting a bit, to a degree. So we'll see if it carries out. But
Slumping enthusiasm for
yes, there you go.
quintessentially American products.
Yeah, I don't think it'll affect Avatar, as I said, the Jurassic World, but for a certain genre of filmmaking, I said superheroes specifically, I think, yeah, we'll see if it. Well, as I said, we have a year off now, so we won't really have another nod on that to come in, but we shall see how it goes.
Yeah. No, what else? So how speaking of Superman, so how is it? So is it holding up okay? It's
yeah, I mean, it lost the IMAX screen, so a little bit further decline, 57% last weekend. It's kind of right between Man of Steel and the Batman, so closer to so it's like from a US point of view, US box office point of view. So from a US, it's doing very well here. Again, the international is going to prohibit it from, again, reaching probably that 750, 800 million. It's probably going to be below that again, because the international is just not coming in that way. So that's going to be, I think, though, what the narrative is going to be is I think they launched the plane. This wasn't, as you mentioned, if this had been a disaster, I don't even know what DC and Gunn and Safran would have done. I mean, there's a lot riding on this movie, and I think that delivered. People seem to generally like it. The legs are decent, so that's good. But the international is a real question on this going forward. That, again, if you're budgeting out 2 years on this, Richard, what do you factor that in or do you not as a Warner Brothers executive? So, yeah. But
before it came out, the number everyone was throwing around is it has to make 700 million to break even, and James Gunn and Peter Safran both disputed that.
Yeah, that seems a little high. I think 600 is probably where you're looking at, which it should hit. It's at 503 or 509, something like that this week. So it'll make money. It'll make money.
I think as long as you're in the range, you have a live franchise you can do things with. So
I think exactly. They're still in the game. Yeah,
that's my feeling.
If this had opened at 75 million, forget about it. Yep.
Jurassic keeps chugging along
still
there,
cooking,
down 40%.
Yeah, 720 million global. This is again not going to be $1 billion movie like the last three, but get to 800, 900. It's going to be pretty close. It's it's not for nothing there. So again, you got 2 more in the pipeline for whatever. Again, this wonderful trilogy that they have planned. Find out who Luke's father is or something, who the dinosaur's father is or something. I don't know. Yeah, the 4th trilogy of the famous Jurassic World novel series that comes along here. So yeah. But
I mean, I just when you're on like the 8th film of a series, any money you make just has to be seen as like
sure, man,
just found gold there. Like it,
keep the theme park rides going. The whole NBC universe over there. So still doing fine.
Yeah, I mean.
F1's still kind of cooking here. The drops are small. It's like 37%. I think last week was 29, if I'm not mistaken. But if there's a movie this summer, Richard, we're a little early on this. We still have a month to go here, but I'm like, this seems to be like legging out. Like it's a film that people are kind of getting around to, like maybe a little bit later on in the weeks. So this seems to be the film like, let's go see F1. Like that kind of I don't know. It just feels like that from the drops each week here. So, and we're again, movie math on this one was very weird and very complicated. I broke it down to the wake up for anyone who wants to get into the minutia because of the Warner Brothers factor. But listen, for an original film, F1 is a property, but doing $510 million already and probably going to 600. That's a pretty good success story. Budget is aside to a degree, but from a creativity standpoint of can you launch an original film with a major movie star that is not a superhero movie and is not, has no real existing, comic book series or a kids franchise behind it. That's pretty good in my book, I would say.
Yeah. If you had been told that you were trying to do that and you got half a billion global, you would have been thrilled.
That would be exactly.
It would not have been a question whether you greenlit that.
Right. Exactly right. Yeah. Then everybody's just go ahead.
And how many weeks is that for F1? 4 weeks?
We're now 4. We came out the end of June, so I guess that'd be the 4th or 5th week. Yeah. So
you really have like 4 movies like swallowing up like almost all the money here.
Oh yeah, it's as we've said, the drop off is rather large from these movies to the rest of them every week. So that's the thing about the depth of it. It's not quite there. Speaking of the good old Smurfs, which is
word of mouth is not coming
did
through.
Not kick in this week. No, minus 51%. This one will be probably this will be losing money for Paramount. Globally, it had a little more cachet to it, so it's at 70 million global, but a $60 million budget here, so that one's just not going to be not a lot of money left in the Smurfs, Richard. I'm afraid. So that's that.
I predict this will not be the last you hear of.
I know. It'll get another shot at some point down the road.
Somewhere, somehow.
Maybe not with David Ellison, but we shall see at Paramount.
There will be more Smurfs in our lives.
Yeah. Just going down here. Eddington, Richard, is Ari Aster movies. Again, second weekend minus 62%. This is another 2 in a row here for Ari, where it's just not showing up after 2 huge hits in Hereditary and Midsommar. So, this veer away from horror or whatever you want to call it is not panning out at this point.
Yeah, quoted as a 25 million budget.
Right, that's exactly right. Take that number as you pointed out. It's a ballpark assessment here, but yeah.
So, those A24 numbers tend to look like tend to sound a little lower than they look to my eyeballs, but
either way, you're definitely not making any money on that. Richard, I'll give a little shout here at Sony Pictures Classics, a movie called Oh Hi, which from next movie from Molly Gordon and Logan Lerman. It's kind of a not twisted. It's a romantic comedy-ish kind of thing, but it was just reminded me of a film, Richard, that they made. Like, it was a very, I'm going to call it a 90s film in a loving way of just like this kind of back when that was the young, a lot of movies about young people and relationships and things like that. And this harkened back to that for me as a Gen Xer. I'm like, this feels like the kind of movie, a little quirky, a little indie, but just like it just had that feeling to it. So did $1 million, about 1.1 million on 860 screens. So pretty good for a movie that, again, not getting $20 million in marketing and so forth. So
shot with 5 people in one.
It's in a cabin. Yeah, exactly.
Country house. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. So there's a charm about it. I don't know that it wholly worked for me, but it was interesting in its conversation. It's just like a movie you'll talk about when you leave the theater, Richard. It's like, it's just one of those films, again, that just like causes a conversation that you'll go out, have a conversation, go have a drink after, go for a meal, and you'll talk about the movie. And it just gives you that kind of stuff, which I know it sounds weird to say. We don't get a lot of that all the time, much less in summertime. So a shout out to Oh Hi.
I'm all for that. I saw it at Sundance.
You did? Okay. What did you think? Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. It had nice show. Molly Gordon is you're gonna be hearing from her.
I think so. I agree. Yeah.
You love her in The Bear, and you loved her in Theater Camp.
Theater Camp, right? Yep.
Which was underappreciated, really nice
Yeah.
indie comedy last summer.
Yeah.
She's a real star, and I think she carried it. The film doesn't totally come together
Right.
and work dramatically, but it got a lot of charm to it, as you say.
Yes, there's something there to it. So I just want to give them a little bit of love there from Sony Classics. But bigger picture, Richard, you're looking ahead a little bit. What's on your mind here?
I was just taking a peek at on the recommendation of a friend to take a peek at 2026 because everything's what do they say? Stay alive for 25.
I lost count. I'm not sure what
We'll be
26 was. Yeah,
we'll be slick in 26.
it's Skydance at
Um,
26. So yeah,
Granted, it's 26 is the end of 26 is a year away, and so things may appear, but boy, that schedule's looking really thin. If you take a look at that, you've got kind of a monster 6 weeks in late June to July, and then you got like a kind of crazy 2 weeks in December, and then you've got what does that leave? 2 weeks minus six, so eight. What's 52 minus eight?
that would
40,
be 44.
44 weeks. 44 weeks that are looking really. So the good news is you want more original movies. You're going to get them next
Yeah,
year
I know. That's
because
I'd pointed that out. Yeah, especially first quarter.
yeah, I mean it's like you don't have like like in the first quarter the only sequel there is Scream 7, and you got Cat in the Hat coming also.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
28 years later movie, but yeah, yeah.
but I'm just looking through the lineup, and there's like a lot of dead space in there.
Well, I mean, we'll
Anyone's
see. Well, there's still some things to come. I think a little bit, the first quarter originality thing is, it's I hadn't looked. I made my notes, but it's yeah, you're right. I mean, and some big swings. I mean,
I
this
mean,
project. Oh, good.
well, May. Well, I mean, what do you in May? You've
Well,
got
May is
Mandalorian,
right.
and then apart from that, what do you have? Devil Wears Prada makes two, and
Yeah, there's this.
there's 5 releases announced for May.
Yeah,
5 major
but
releases that
yeah,
which don't all sound that major.
yeah, Devil Wears Prada too. Which that one you can convince me either way. They've had a chatter about that movie, but again, it's not Thunderbolts or even or an Avengers movie by any means. Yeah, a movie called Animal Friends, which is kind of a R-rated animated live action comedy thing, which I'm very curious to see from Legendary or Warner Brothers. Yeah, there's not for May is
That's
a month that
May. That's
right.
not.
That's a month that you plan out. That's not like, oh, there's a surprise coming. It's like, no, May is usually planned out pretty much at least a year in advance, Richard. It's not like, oh, yes, of course, we're going to announce our big tentpole 3 months out. That's not something that happened in Hollywood. So, yeah, we
All right,
shall
put all
see.
our bags in Devil Wears Prada 2 to save the summer, I guess. But
Exactly. Yeah. Scum Miranda Priestley, bring it back for kick off summertime. That's what we need. Yeah,
exactly.
we shall see.
Anyway, and when you look at the fall, which I know things may still appear there, but I sure hope so because you have weeks where there's nothing. Where I mean, there's not even a small thing. It's like it's just
A little barren. Okay.
dead there. Yeah.
All right, let's play some movies, Hollywood, where you have plenty of weekends. Pick your weekend, whatever one you want. Yeah, but you have plenty of room.
Yeah.
So there you go. Pick your date.
Yeah, or indie filmmakers,
Sure.
get your stuff out there.
Could be a very active Sundance this year. Could be, who knows? That could open the door for that kind of thing. That's for sure. Yeah, you got what Interview Two's movie. You got there's a few things here, but yeah, there are definitely a few weekends here. Yeah, Jordan Peele movie. Okay, there's a few things here, Richard. I don't know, but a lot of untitled films here that I think that are it's like November's all untitled, essentially. except for
Yeah,
Narnia and Hunger Games. So yeah, that's November. So we should, they want to surprise us, Richard. They're like, you know what? We've been telling you guys for so long, so far in advance. There's no surprises left in this business. Maybe they just want to surprise us, Richard. That's what it is.
all right, we're gonna sneak some movies up on us. We'll see
Yeah,
about
exactly. See,
that.
change it up a little bit, keep it fresh. So yeah.
All right. Well, we'll
All
see.
right.
What's coming up next weekend?
We got No Naked Gun, Richard. I'm seeing it tonight, so very excited for that. Our comedy resurgence. We'll see what happens with this. Are you seeing it, or you gonna wait for the movie theater? What do you got?
I'm not seeing it tonight. I'll probably catch it next weekend. So
okay, so you'll be going the old-fashioned way in the theaters. All right,
yeah.
very good. Paramount could use the hit. Obviously Mission Impossible just didn't quite. I mean, did fine, but again, not for the money they spent. Smurfs. Again, same thing. Paramount would be nice to see them round out the summer with a win with the Naked Gun. So we'll see if that delivers or not. And then Bad Guys 2 over at Universal is the animated entry there. So those are your two main.
Yeah, and the first one of that did okay, right?
Yeah, it did like 100 million. I think, again, this is a movie, Richard, where did it have that growth in streaming where like this one has a bigger, launch because of the kid, kids watched it 100 times on Peacock or whatever it might have been. So I'm more curious to see if that happens or if it just kind of does about the same as the first one. So we shall see at the multiplex this weekend, Richard. So that's what we got.
All right, and the summer lurches to a close.
Yeah, we're rounding the corner here. So still a couple of movies, a couple of weekends to go of bigger entries, and then we'll be on vacation. I think.
Okay,
the latter part of out of August.
Good talking to you, everybody. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you at the movies.
The trademark pending. Yes, exactly. Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.